Drink beer. Think beer. You're listening to Brew Bloods.
Welcome to Brew Bloods, episode not 100.
Yeah.
You may be asking yourself, why is this not episode 100? It's because we don't want it to be, frankly.
Well, why is this a shorty?
Why is this shorty? Well,
Yeah.
the plans we had.
Explain it to me, Mark. I don't even know.
Let me explain it to you. Let me explain it like a 5-year-old. The interview we had scheduled, a very special interview we had scheduled, got delayed by a week. So we chose not to fill the space. We chose to be a little tantric about it and make everybody wait for episode 100. I know you're all impatiently waiting.
You're on the edge of your seats.
Yeah.
You're about to explode.
You're all edging.
Every which way.
You're right at the edge. You're about to go over the waterfall of beer orgasmic
Naturally.
time. Beer orgasmic time. I can't talk about
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
I don't either. Beer gasming.
Yeah.
You're almost there, but you're going to have to wait yet another week. You're going to have to be like Sting and be tantric for 7 days.
So instead, we decided to head out on the road. We made a long, long journey far, far north.
Yeah, BFE.
To a tiny, tiny town called Plano, Texas.
Plano, Texas, yes.
And they have this nice little downtown area. Mark and I have frequented it on occasion. We've been up here just a few times.
Just a few. Yeah, it's at least it used to be our old haunt, actually, back when we used to live.
It was a weekly stop.
It was. We used to hang out here when Dustin used to live in the even more BFE town of McKinney. I used to live in the even more BFE town of Frisco.
Yes. Well, and I lived way on the edge of McKinney.
Right.
There was a time where I did that, and Mark was living in Dallas, and then Thomas from the other podcast that we do
That shan't be named.
in Plano.
Thank you.
So then we would pop over here. There's 4 or 5 bars and restaurants in this area. Three notables that we would rotate around to: the Fillmore Pub, Kelly's, and the one we're at today,
Kelly's
which is
Eastside.
Vickery Park.
Yeah, this whole little neighborhood here has exploded, but Vickery, the mainstays,
The old
Fillmore,
stalwarts are
Vickery,
still there,
Yeah, the mainstays are still there, but all the other shops around it have.
Right.
This whole little area has blown up quite a bit.
Yeah, so we decided to come here and look awkward while we're talking into mics
Yeah.
at a bar. Everyone's like, what the hell are those guys doing? And we're used to that, though. That's what we get everywhere we go.
That's that's how we live. That's what we live for.
Mark has these gigantic headphones on that are just oversized, cover his entire ears.
Studio headphones, because for some reason this recording device won't put out a normal amperage.
But that's a technical detail no one cares
Yeah.
about. But in any case, we're here, and we're here to drink, and we're here to talk about it.
Yeah. We're here to
As
talk
we are every week.
We should say we've already been through one of these as I spilled the first beer. The Oskar Blues 10 Barrel-Aged 10 Fidy is what we're talking about. I already spilled one.
Yeah,
Had about,
so Mark gets to drop about $35 on this episode. Now, we've had this beer before.
We have?
They did have it at Untapped, that is now Index Fest now. At least I had it. I don't know if you had it, but I for sure had it. It was tasty. Our friend Javi's obsessed with it. Anytime he finds it, he suckles the tap, suckles it dry, and then moves on to the next one.
Yeah.
He's very much like, I don't know, some kind of rodent or some kind of locust or something like that just eats everything good. He just suckles the 1050 till it's gone, and then he just takes off.
He
and
just
he's
goes
gone.
from tap to tap.
Exactly. But I understand it. I recall it being a good beer. It's been several months since I've had it.
Yeah.
You suckled it off the counter as you spilled it.
I did.
So there's a lot of suckling with this beer going on. And maybe I just like to say suckle over and over again.
It's your favorite word. I got up on the bar and licked directly. Just
he hopped
lapped it up like a kitten.
Exactly. Yeah, just barely with his tongue. He didn't really...
Barely touched it.
That was more lapping, I guess, than
It took
suckling
about
for you.
45 minutes to get it all, but I got there. It was a challenge that I accepted. So
I think I'm going to have to suckle this biscuits and gravy.
the river biscuits and gravy, yeah. So give me the lowdown on the barrel-aged 10 Fidy.
Well, it's from Oskar Blues, which we do have a presence in Texas now. They are actually brewing in Austin now.
Yeah.
It's a 12.9% Imperial Stout. It gets really good ratings across the board. I mean, we're talking. If you want to look at rate beer, it's a 100. If you want to look at your Advocate, it's a 99, and then on Untapped, 4.4.
Pretty good out on Untapped.
That's outstanding for Untapped. I mean, that barely ever happens. If you get over 4, you're doing good, but over nearly 4.5,
yeah.
I mean, you're killing it.
As we all know, Untapped, the most critical of all communities.
Well, it's the most active.
Outside of our local Facebook group.
Right, that's true. So, Oskar Blues, do you go to them much?
On occasion. The old Chub is a good standby like that. The Devil, I was going to say Devil Dancer, but that's not. It's the Devil.
No, that's a Founder's beer.
What am I thinking of then?
I don't know.
Boy. Anyways, Old Chub, Mom's Little Yellow Pills. That's a good one, as we all know. Dale's Pale Ale.
Right.
Classic Pale Ale.
True, yeah.
They're not, like Avery last week, they're not, because they're always there. It's not that I always, I'm always seeking them out. But I know they make damn good beer.
And it's rare, a rarity like this, you'll go out of the way to actually have.
Right.
So it's a little bit different.
Yeah. I've got 2 of these sitting in my fridge, actually.
Oh, very nice. You better not let Javi know.
Them. Oh, I know.
He's going to locust your fridge.
He'll locust through my house, lapping up all the beer, and then...
Exactly. He'll just leave destruction in his wake no matter what.
It's like the scene at the beginning of Fast and Furious 6 when Jason Statham destroys the hospital.
Yeah, 7.
That's
Fast 7.
7? Yeah, that's what it looks like when Javi hears about Ten Fidy Barrel-Aged Ten Fidy. There's just explosions everywhere and people dying left and right.
Exactly. So what are you expecting out of this?
I expect it to be damn good. A sweet stout. I don't know that I've had this before. Well, it's possible I've had it.
We'll see if it tastes different in the glass versus you lapping it off of the countertop.
Yeah, I expect the bar probably added some oaky afterbirth to it.
Some nice tetanus and some other...
Oh, I'm sure I've Hep C now.
Yeah, hepatitis, something.
I've hepatitis D now as a result. I got the more advanced version.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, what are you expecting out of this beer?
I expect a really smooth, semi-sweet type stout. Imperial Stout, you're going to have a little booze to it. I expect a little booze.
I expect so. What is it, 12.1 you said?
Yeah, it's almost 13, really. So I expect it to have that boozy, sweet kick to it, but I also expect it, since it's barrel-aged, to be smooth.
No Oskar Blues, it'll be really well-balanced.
Yeah, exactly.
You may be asking yourself, why aren't we doing a full episode on this? It's because we don't feel like it.
Yeah, exactly.
And because we don't want to consume episode 100.
Yeah,
something that's it's a special beer, but
yeah, exactly.
This isn't the Punky Brewster episode for us.
Right. It's just a special one-off.
Yeah, this is not our pedophilia. It's a very special pedophilia episode.
Yeah, no one got stuck in a fridge.
Yeah, this is just a regular old episode of Perfect Strangers.
It smells a little boozy. But it's
aroma,
also very sweet.
It's not as strong as I would have expected, aroma-wise.
It's sweet.
We're drinking these out of tulip glasses, snifters.
Yeah, snifters.
Not as strong as I would have expected. A little milky in the aroma. A little sweet.
Yeah, it is a little sweet.
And definitely a little boozy there. No surprise.
Absolutely.
It's got, to me, just a standard issue barrel-aged stout aroma profile.
Yeah,
nothing really jumps out at me.
Nothing magnificent, but it's notable in its style. Well, when I say notable, it fits its style.
Yes.
I'll put it that way.
Appearance-wise, it is pitch black.
Jet
with
black.
a thin tan head on it.
Looks like an oil spill into a glass.
Yes.
Thick and dark. Which is what you would expect.
The head's actually retained pretty well.
Yep.
I find that most snifters, when you get a beer that's supposed to be served as snifter, they generally tend to go flat pretty quickly.
True.
So I'm guessing this probably has a good bit of carbonation to it.
And I can also tell you, as it's spread across
the bar
in front of me, it is carbonated.
Yeah, carbonated quite well.
Yeah.
And you can see from your glass, the lacing there is pretty prominent, sticking to the glass pretty well.
Yeah, swirl it around a little bit. The lacing does stay there.
It's so lacy, it could have been one of Madonna's gloves from the 80s, so that's a throwback reference for the kids. Don't just stare at me like that. You appreciate my analogy. You're picking up what I'm putting down.
I did, yes. I picked it up, but then I threw it back down.
And lastly, the most important, flavor and mouthfeel.
Nah, least important.
That is quite boozy.
It's quite boozy and quite smooth.
To compare locally, the most obvious comparison is the Lakewood Temptress, the barrel-aged Temptress.
Right.
So how do you think this compares, or that compares to this? I find them pretty similar in flavor, actually.
They are similar in flavor. I actually think this one... I don't know. I would say I put this one a little bit above the Temptress, but again...
Although it depends what year of Temptress we're talking about here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, bourbon barrel... Oh, man, that's tough.
Not this year's, because I remember this one had... If I remember right, this year's Temptress had a lot more plum flavor to it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't my favorite.
2015, though? 2015 Temptress is like their pinnacle, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's better than this. But... yeah, this one's really good and really smooth.
It's definitely got a carbonated bite to it. Not sharp or anything, but...
It's very drinkable. I mean, you could drink...
It's
a lot of it's dangerous. Yeah, well, same thing with the Temptress.
Much like the Temptress, yeah. It's dangerously drinkable.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a booze presence there, but at almost 13%, it's not as heavy as I've had in some other...
Absolutely.
Beers that are that high ABV, so...
True, yeah, very true. So how would you rate it?
Ratings.
Ratings.
It's extremely well balanced, as I expected at Oskar Blues. No surprise. Carbonated quite well. I'm impressed drinking out of a snifter that's got a decent little head on it. Very well balanced. Booze is there, as I expected, but it's not hitting me in the head.
Right.
It's not it's not a velvet hammer to the head, as it were, or not even a hammer to the head. It's dangerously smooth, and that is quite the accomplishment when you get that high ABV. There's nothing that jumps out at me to say this is one of my favorite beers of all time, but it's a damn good barrel-aged stout.
So you wouldn't go around destroying everyone's
No.
personal stashes of this?
I would not kill somebody over this beer,
Okay. Yeah.
but is it a beer I'll pick up every time it's available? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just not my favorite of this type of beer. It's not my favorite,
Sure.
but it's damn good. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I think it is an improvement on the original Ten Fidy, but that's no surprise. Most things barrel-aged are improvements.
True, yeah.
So it's a really, really good beer, and I think probably 4.5 out of 5 is about where it needs to land.
This is a silky smooth beer, maybe one of the silkiest. I think silky really describes it really well because it's just flows right down the palate. There's no harshness, has high
Yep.
ABV, but
Much like the sheets you sleep on.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And the underwear I wear,
Yeah.
exactly.
And the blouse you're wearing right now.
Exactly, yeah. It's very puffy.
You're always in constant silk.
Yeah. I had the shoulder pads that kind of stick it out a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
The teased hair.
Of course. Basically right out of Working Girl. But yeah, I love this silky, sweet taste to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if silky's a taste, but the silky feel with the sweet taste that masks the alcohol, but the alcohol is present, but it's not like a burn like a Jameson or something
Yeah.
like that. It's very smooth. The
Very few
barrel
things
aging-
burn like Jameson.
That's true. But they smoothed it out really well, and man, I don't have any complaints about it at all. I'd probably give it a 4.5 out of 5.
That's almost what I would have given it.
Almost.
I think Working Girl is an apt name for this beer because it's a very workable barrel-aged
Absolutely.
Imperial stout. Working Girl, yeah, nailed it right on the head. It has some shoulder pads to it.
Yeah.
It's definitely got some beefiness.
It's a silky 80s
but
blouse.
she's got
and a drink.
She's got a silky edge to her. So
Yeah, exactly. Well,
all right. Well, thanks for listening to yet another Shorty episode of Brew Bloods. We do this ever so occasionally. If you like the
if
show,
that's a thing to say, yes.
we would ask if you like the show and you know somebody, if you have a friend, and if you don't have friends, I'm sorry, you should go get some. But if you do have a friend that enjoys hearing things and likes beer,
Maybe you can make a friend by introducing them to this podcast.
maybe so. Maybe you should go to a no friends group where you guys make friends with each other and you can tell them about our podcast. But please tell your friends about the show. We'd really appreciate it. If you have any feedback on the show, you can email us at brewbloodshow@gmail.com. Call us at 469-573-BEER.
Nope.
That's 469-573-2337.
You won't, but you should.
And you can email us at brewbloodshow@gmail.com. And we should mention, I just did a pilot this week of, I think we're going to start a new mailing list, a weekly wrap-up of beer news for the week. It's going to be called Brews in the News.
Oh.
So if you go to the website, brewbloods.net, there's a sign-up form. Just click on the Brews in the News link at the top, enter your email address.
I thought it was going to be Mark's musings on beer.
That was the original title, but
Okay.
I like the rhyme better.
Yeah, fair enough.
We will not say your email address to anybody. Absolutely, of course not. But
Just
it will
to
be
each other.
a weekly wrap-up. Yeah, we're going to constantly exchange cash back and forth. But go there and get it'll come out probably every Friday, as long as I'm not feeling too lazy. So.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, we'll catch you guys next week for hopefully episode 100 next week of Brew Bloods. Probst.
Probst.